Yo, what is up everyone? Back here with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new abilities confirmed for a bunch of the new megas. So I know that we obviously in like the, news posts or updates I've made on videos, I've talked about like, oh, this thing has this ability, whatever. But I never actually made a video talking about the implications of all the megas so far, and I've actually got into, because of the server that they have online, it's like a showdown server that lets you play ZA earlier, I can actually form some early opinions a little bit on, a couple of the megas here and their abilities. So we'll start with Greninja here, and we'll move on through the confirmed mega abilities that we have, all the way to Dragonite, and I'll be talking about each one, how viable I think the megas are, and so on. So, first, we'll start out with Greninja. I'm not going to lie, Protean is a pretty sad ability for Greninja to get. Now, it is already such a high base statted mon with its, with the upgrades, I guess, where it's like, okay anyways. But definitely it is not a, how do I put it? It's definitely not a great ability for it. Now, it's okay, right? But being able to have Protean, like, I'm curious, the only thing that would probably save it, since it's a one-time activation normally, is if they make it so that when you mega, you can reactivate it, which we don't have confirmed yet, or at least to my knowledge, but I would assume not. Actually, I guess it kind of is confirmed. I don't know if anyone tried that interaction, actually. I guess that would be a really interesting interaction to try out. But probably not, since you're maintaining the ability between. Now, where I think it could, like, have some potential, like where it would have had some potential interest was if it had Battle Bond first and then you had Protean, but you can't use Battle Bond because it's a special event ability. So, at least to my understanding, right? So it probably won't be in Champions. If you could use Battle Bond and then switch to Protean, I feel like that'd be pretty cool. But unfortunately, I don't think that is going to be the case here. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mega Greninja in general. Obviously, its stats are pretty decent, but I don't think it, like, I mean, you can use, like, Ice Beam, for example, right? To, like, capitalize off of the Protean. But, like, it's not, like, anything incredible, right? Like, let's say this is your moveset. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not the worst thing you could ever have, but you're not going to be able to do much with the ability. So, kind of disappointing ability there. Chestnut's ability is also, like, kind of neutral. I will say it's, like, not the worst thing ever, but okay, like, if Terra comes back, I would rather use a Terrifier Chestnut with Bulletproof than use a Chestnutite Chestnut. But as it stands right now, because there's no, Terra, at least from what we understand, I would maybe consider using Chestnut. Body Press is incredibly threatening off of this one. I mean, look at this defense stat, right? It's okay. I would say definitely a bit disappointing, but if you're running the Iron Defense Body Press niche, you will definitely be doing a lot with the Iron Defense Body Presses, and then you get to run a Grass move, whichever Grass move that is, which will be able to put on a lot of pressure as well, off of a really high base attack stat, right? So that's kind of cool, I suppose. But mainly its ability is kind of like a nothing burger. Like, or I shouldn't say it's a nothing burger, but like it's not enough to, like, I think make it even better. Like, I think they could have combined Bulletproof with, like, I don't know, some other ability and made it, like, even better, but I digress. Delphox, man. Okay, so singles players are probably very happy about Levitate, because I was actually, so funny enough, I was actually talking to Joey about this Pokemon, because basically I was like, well, obviously, like, there's no other ability you'd really, like, we're basically, like, I was talking with a friend, and they were like, no, you would actually rather be able to touch the ground and use expanding force. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's just a doubles thing. I'm like, there's no way that's, like, the opinion singles. I talked to Joey, and he's like, yeah, no, this is, like, awesome, because you just don't get affected by spike. So singles players are probably, like, rejoicing for this. Doubles players are probably absolutely devastated here. Yeah, I don't know, this is, like, I can't really say it's a bad ability, because obviously in singles it has a lot more merit, but in doubles this is, like, pretty depressing, because the main benefit it would have gotten was expanding force. Now, I think because we haven't gotten Indeedee confirmed in the available Pokemon decks, maybe in the first format it can be used anyways with Levitate. But for sure, it's definitely going to fall off a little bit once Psychic Terrain stuff is in, because you'll just rather use other expanding force mons, right? Okay, next up, Empore. Again, Mold Breaker, man. Oh, man. Poor Empore, man. I really thought it was going to get something. I mean, I don't even know what you can really use Mold Breaker for, to be honest. Like, yes, sure, you can hit a Levitating Mon with, like, a Ground-type move, right? Or maybe you could hit, like, a Heatran through Flash Fire, or, like, through Flash Fire with, like, a Fire-type move. But, like, why? Like, is it really going to come up that much? Probably not, right? Empore, it had, like, okay stats, but I mean, the special attack was kind of poorly distributed, I guess, into it. But what I will say is that, like, yeah, if they had given it a better ability, I think it could have been a lot scarier. Even, like, adaptability, but Yeah, no, it's just like it's okay. I mean, I guess, but like Mold Breaker's just like kind of like doesn't really do much. So a bit unfortunate for it. Now, Meganium has like one of the first abilities that I consider like actually a huge buff for it. That being said, I might have disappointing news for Meganium fans. So, okay, first, let me start by telling you what I think like about the Pokemon in general. So I think Meganium in general is gonna benefit a lot from having access to spamming Solar Beams and Dazzling Gleam, right? Like I think that's really good. As well too, it gets Synthesis as well, so it can literally use Synthesis. Now, the one unclear thing, which is why I'm not bringing up Weather Ball in particular, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, you can use Weather Ball in Sun," or like you could use Sun-based Weather Balls in Rain, right? So from the mechanics that was on when we were playing on the practice server, Weather Ball damage was still getting reduced by rain. If Weather Ball damage doesn't get reduced by rain, it's a useful niche. But that's actually the question we would probably have and need to see once Champions comes out, which is Weather Ball going to be impacted by rain, right? Because obviously Megasoul is, I'm going to act as if, you know, I always have Sun active with my personal moves, but does that impact the damage output of said moves, right? Because Rain still reduces fire type move damage in general. So that'll be a really interesting thing to see if they coded that in or like what they did. But I think that this is also good. I think it's okay, right? Like the main problem that like Mega Meganium has is just like, yes, does it do a lot of damage? 100%. Is there a better reason to use it over a lot of other megas? I'm not so sure, right? Mostly too because there are a lot of megas that are like hostile towards it, or just Pokemon in the format out of the available confirmed list so far. I mean, also too, like I think another part of it is like because you're committing your mega towards it, right? Like, is it definitely a higher base stat total? 100%. Is it like exactly where you want to be putting your Mega? Because again, it's competing with like Kangaskhan, Mega Metagross, Mega Zard, right? It's competing. Even Mega Frostlass, I think, is like pretty good right now, which I'll get to. But yeah, I think it's okay. It's definitely not like the worst. I think it's a lot better off than some of the other ones, especially too because Grass Fairy typing can wall some very specific Pokemon in the format. But it's definitely something that I would say it would depend on that Weather Ball interaction and also to what Pokemon, like what the full list is in the format, right? Now, Dragonite is a really weird one to me. I don't know. It's like, it's fine. I feel like maybe they could have given it something else. I mean, it's not like the worst thing. I think Dragon's Maw with Dragonize. I mean, that would have been kind of broken though, I guess. But like even Dragon's Maw would have been better because it already actually had usable like Dragon Stab, right? Like, I mean, if we look at it, like it had Dragon Claw, right? Like it had Outrage. I guess you wouldn't use Outrage, but it had Dragon Claw. So yes, you get to use really powerful stab double edges. For example, double edge is like the main move that comes up when you think about it, because it's not going to use slash. I don't think it gets crush claw. No. So yeah, it's going to be like double edge, and then usually I've seen Swords Dance double edge like waterfall, but like or liquidation. I guess liquidation. I think it gets right. Yeah, liquidation. But the problem is that like water dragon coverage, even though it's like not bad, like it's not like, for example, you get hard walled by Meganium, which is really funny because I was just saying how it's kind of like whatever. Even Gardevoir, right? If they get Intimidate on you, like you can't double edge it for full power. Like there's enough fairy types where like stab double edge isn't always like the best. There are some scenarios where it's good, like for example versus Dragonite, versus Garchomp, versus Megamance, right? That being said, though, you definitely need Swords Dance to try and compensate. I guess you could go Dragon Dance as well, but then you're leaving yourself open to getting cycled. But I don't know. I mean, it's the ability, like, it's not terrible. Like, it is a cool ability and concept. It's just, like, I don't know if it really has the tools to, like, fully benefit off of it would be the problem, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I guess if Return comes back, Return would be great because then it would get, like, 100 base power. But we don't really know if I don't think Friendship is in the game. So, like, Friendship or Return is in the game from what we know. So, like, you're only really going to be able to use Double Edge, which is, like, you know, it's okay. It's fine. But yeah, so in other words, for Alligator, a little underwhelming, probably won't be the most competitively viable. I think Meganium has a better chance than for Alligator, but it's something, right? Okay, now Frostlass. Frostlass I actually think has some merit. Its speed tier is pretty good. It gets Blizzard, Shadow Ball, Aurora Veil, which is really cool. Having the ability to set Snow and set Aurora Veil is actually really cool. And I think it's one of the best King Gambit partners in the format because it pressures a lot of Pokemon that King Gambit doesn't like dealing with. Now, of course, like Mega Gar as well is faster, so it can outspeed. Like Mega Gengar can just like Shadow Ball it. But if you're pairing with King Gambit or another threat that can like protect the Frostlass, I think the Frostlass has a lot of merit. I actually really enjoyed playing Frostlass. Me and Justin actually put out a video where we were playing with this Mega Frostlass on ladder. I built a team that was able to get to rank 1 on the first day. I mean, it was like only like a couple games to get rank 1, but still, like it felt really good. So I think Mega Frostlass is actually like I was impressed because I didn't think it was going to be that good. But I think the Ice Ghost typing with like being able to Mega set Auroraville and having Blizzard Shadow Ball access in this format's actually really cool. And when you pair it with the right Pokemon, it can actually do quite a bit of things. So it's actually a Pokemon I think has legitimate merit. So Frostlass fans can in fact rejoice. I think Frostlass is a really cool option available here. And yeah, I think it's just a super cool Pokemon. I am looking forward to actually using it maybe. I think it's something I actually would consider using. It has some decent stats as well, and the snow obviously helps with that lower defense stat, so really cool. Dragonite. Okay, so multi-scale's a really weird ability choice. I actually really expected like something different, but I mean, we got multi-scale, so we'll see how that goes. But I will say it's not the worst thing ever. Like its stats, it's hard for a Pokemon like this to be bad, right? Like its stats are pretty good. The thing is I'm not sure whether or not it has merit to use over like other megas. I will say it does hit pretty hard specially, and Stab Hurricane is the main thing that I see Dragonite players like kind of abusing from it. The only problem with it is that like you're required to use Rain with it, so it's very much limited to being played on Rain teams if you're using Hurricane. Otherwise, you're forced to use like slightly weaker coverage like Air Slash, right? And the problem with like Air Slash is again you're just lacking in some damage, right? As well too, it's like kind of has this weird like move slot syndrome issue where it's like, okay, I have Air Slash, I have Draco Meteor, right? Like, what do I want my last slot to be? I've seen Thunder on Rain teams, I've seen Fire Blast on not Rain teams, so you can break through steals. But again, that's a little inconsistent, right? I've even seen Focus Blast, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, like that has so much like random specific coverage it can use. But the main problem is I feel like it has like a big competition on its move slots, right? Now, that being said, it's definitely not bad, right? It is an okay Pokemon for sure, right? But it is a Mega Hog, so it wouldn't really work on a double Mega team if you're running the special set. I think it would have benefited for, I know this sounds crazy because it's already a high special attack stat, from like taking a bit more out of attack and putting it in special attack to like really make it usable. But it's definitely like, I think it'll be playable, and multi-scale makes it like a mon that you could use definitely on certain teams in certain positions. So it's something that I would look forward to at least seeing played a little bit. Like I would definitely expect this to be played somewhere. It has a lot more chance of being played than like, for example, if we're looking at like you know, Mega for Alligator, right? Like it's just completely outclassed in a lot of different roles. But like if you look at Mega Dragonite, like I actually think there's like a good reasons to use it. So pretty cool Pokemon overall. I think Mega Frostless, Mega Dragonite, like I was a little underwhelmed by multi-scale, but I think it was pretty cool. Mega Meganium, of course, gives it some usage. And then yeah, besides that, we'll have to see. I think Mega Chesnaught and Mega Greninja probably follow up as like the best chance mons. Delphox will probably have a niche once you have like Psychic Terrain plus Delphox with like switch into Weezing, I think, once those two Pokemon are in the format. So, you know, that'll actually probably make a difference once it's added. But yeah. Overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are excited. As soon as we get more Mega information, of course, I will be talking about it as well. Hopefully before Champions comes out. But if not, you know, we'll figure it out once it does. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Catch you in the next one. Peace.